Hi everyone, thank you for watching today. In this video we're going to be creating this 5x7 fabulous flip card, and this is featuring the new products from the Baked Delights collection. So we've got these beautiful stamps and I just think they pair really well with the fabulous flip. So if you haven't seen this mechanism before, you just pull this out and you can see there are more images on the inside. Mindful not to press too hard on this because of the Nuvo drops that I've added, but it does move really freely. It's just those score lines need a little bit of work, and yeah, I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. I think the colours are lovely on this. Just got a pop of some pinks and greens and blues there. You've got the added interest with the holographic frame and just lots of sweet goodies there. So let's get started. So the mechanism die that I'll be using in today's video is the Fabulous Flips, and this is the 5x7 flip mechanism die set. So it creates this really lovely frame that has the kinetic movement. So you pull on the one side like so, you have two images on the front, and then you pull and you have an additional two images on the inside. So let me go through the cutting guide with you. So I've prepared a card blank which is 5x7, and I've attached a piece of pattern paper on the front of that. There are 3 dies within this set. I'll just move some of them so you can see them more clearly. So I've cut the frame. Now I've cut this twice. Once in white cardstock, which is 300 GSM, and then the second in this sort of bluey green colour to match the pattern paper. And I've attached those together to give me a nice strong frame. Now you will need that as it's part of the mechanism piece. So lighter weight cardstock I would double up on. Then we've got this die here, and you want to cut this twice. So I've got these 2 pieces to go on the inside there, and then this die cuts your pieces to fit inside this piece. So if I just bring that up a little closer to the camera so you can see, so this sits nicely inside there. So you'll have 2 for each piece, so 1 on this side and 1 on the opposite side. So I'll bring those in. I've already gone ahead and I've stamped and coloured the 4 panels. So I've got thank you sweetie and all these lovely biscuits and cookies and cakes images, the macaroons there, or macarons, is it? I never know which one to call that. Let me know in the comments which is the correct pronunciation. I always get confused with those. Yeah, so there's my 4 panels there. Hopefully you can see those okay. And the images that I've used for this, they are from the Baked Delights stamp and die set and the Goodies Galore stamp and die set. So I'm just going to pop everything to one side, have a little bit of a tie up on my desk, and then we can start to assemble everything. Just one more piece which is optional. I've used this larger frame die and cut it in holographic cardstock, and you'll see it, if you if you cut it in mirror cardstock, it sort of gives it this embossed look, an embossed frame, and I've just trimmed around the frame that is there, and that is going to sit on the frame just to add a little bit more interest. But let me clear the decks and we'll be able to see things more clearly. So let's work on the framed piece first. I'm just going to take some quick grab glue and attach this frame around the 2 rectangle apertures. As I said, this is an optional step. Just think it adds a little bit of extra interest then to the frame. You could stamp on the frame, you could create your own pattern paper and colour that frame in. You could ink blend it. There's many options to jazz that up. You don't necessarily have to have it plain, but I wanted more of a plain look because I'm adding lots of the images to the inner panels. there's my frames now attached to my larger frame. And I'm going to bring in these two mechanism pieces. I've just popped that in my scoreboard and just gone over the score lines. Again, because I've used a lighter weight cardstock, I've added white 300 GSM with this coloured cardstock. So next you want to fold and burnish along the score lines. So these two little score lines here on these arms are valley folds. And this larger score line is a mountain fold. So this piece is going to sit inside the frame like so. And you want to decide whether you want to pull to the right or pull to the left. So depending on your orientation will depend on which way these panels sit. So if you're going to pull to the right, you want the largest score line on the right hand side, and if you're pulling to the left, you want it on the left hand side. So I'm going to do mine to the right. And you want to add some quick grab glue to these smaller arms. When you're placing this onto the frame, you want a small amount of clearance to your left hand side. Again, because I'm pulling to the right, so if you're pulling to the left, you want some clearance on the right hand side. And I'll hold that up closer to the camera shortly once I've attached this in place. So if I hold that up, hopefully you can see that there's a small gap just around the frame there. And this allows this piece then to flip in and out. So I'm going to add the other piece. Now you might find that it's easier to add it from the back rather than the front because you're handling the smaller piece. Again, make sure that both pieces are aligned in the same way. So there's both pieces now attached. Just going to flip this over and fold both panels back on itself just to reinforce those score lines there. And I've decided to change my mind in terms of how I'm going to attach this. So I've changed the score line from a mountain to a valley. So just fold that back on itself. And then the same for the other piece. Fold that over and just turn that fold into a valley fold. It'll just be easier for attachment when we glue this to our card base. So if you want, you can bend it both ways. It just gives that flexibility in the cardstock and allows that movement. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my card base. I'm going to flip this over, and along these two thin tabs here, I'm going to add a small amount of quick grab glue. When you're lining this up on your card base, you want to concentrate on just getting a small border around that frame and then just press that down. So just to add a little bit of pressure, if you lift the frame up just slightly and then run your finger along that tab that we've attached the glue to, and again the same on this frame, just lift that slightly and add pressure on the inside. And then once you're happy that that's got a good attachment, you're ready to pull this in and out. So if you fold it completely back on itself just to work in those score lines, mine are quite stiff because I've added 2 layers of cardstock together. now you can see that moves much more freely. I'm going to bring in the panels that I've prepared. So I've got this "Thank You Sweetie" on the front, and I've got that panel to sit opposite. I'm just going to sit that nicely inside there, and then I'm going to pop the panels on the opposite side. So there's the front and the inner panels now attached, and as you can see, it moves really well. I've done this as a top fold in, so it stands up like so. And just to finish the card off, I'm going to add some Nuvo drops, and I've got the Simply White ones here, and these are the crystal Nuvo drops. So there's the final card. I think it's turned out lovely. Really simple but yet effective, and I wanted to show off those lovely images, those stamps and the sentiment, and I think this card has just captured that. You've got that peak of colour then when you flip it up of that pattern paper and the back panels. Try not to move it around too much because of those Nuvo drops. I'll just pop that down. So I hope you've enjoyed this quick video from me today. If you have, please hit the like button, leave a comment, or consider subscribing to the channel. If you do subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future tutorials. As usual, I'll link any of the products used in today's video in the description box below. Once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again. Bye!